Ciao a tutti, it's Aureo and today we are profiling Ghostrick Spirits, which is a deck I quite like because, well, if you don't know, I mained Ghostricks for over a year in the past. Not in that format, but yeah. This is inspired by Why Pigs Don't Fly's list, which is inspired a lot by Jeff Jones's list. So it is inspired by Jeff Jones's list. It's kind of always goes back to Jeff Jones when we talk about rogue decks, honestly. But yeah, this deck uses some really underutilized cards in the format, which is really cool in my opinion. So yeah, let's get into starting off with our 3 copies of Aratama and 3 copies of Nikitama as our main Spirit monsters. If you don't know what to do, well, Spirits bounce back to the end phase and they cannot be special summoned. But basically, Aratama, when it's normal summoned or flip face up, you can search a Spirit monster from the deck, except itself. And Nikitama lets you normal summon another Spirit monster after it is normal summoned. And if you send to the graveyard while you control a face up Spirit monster, you get to draw a card, so that's really nice. And that's really relevant for a combo involving our only level 4 extender in the deck, which is our 3 copies of Kagetokage. Kagetokage is level 4 Reptile Dark, which is all relevant, and also to keep in mind that Aratama is a level 4 Dark, that will come up later. That will be on the test. Kagetokage, normal summon, special summon whenever you normal summon a card. Basically, if you have all 3 of these cards, you can go normal summon Nikitama, special Kagetokage, normal summon Aratama searches another Nikitama. And then you overlay Nikitama and Kagetokage into Laval chain, stack a monster on top of the deck, and you detach Nikitama. And since you have Aratama on the field, you get to draw a card, which is the card you stacked on top of your deck. And if you don't kill them that turn, you have Nikitama and Aratama in hand next turn. So that's really, really strong. Besides that, for the Ghostricks, we are running 3 copies of Mary, 3 copies of Jiangxi, and 2 copies of Spectre. I would like to play 3 Spectre, but there's just no room considering what I added. Yeah, basically, if you don't know, Mary, if you take any damage, you discard her to special summon Jiangxi from the deck face down. Then Jiangxi, whenever he's flipped face up, you get to add one of the other 2. And Spectre, whenever a Ghostrick monster dies, you get to special summon him in face down defense position and draw a card. And all of these cannot be normal summoned unless you already control a face up Ghostrick monster, so they're kind of slow. But yeah, they get you, for one, they stall, they deck thin a lot, and they give you graveyard fodder for for our spells, which we will see later. And speaking of graveyard fodder, we are playing 3 copies of TD Crow and 2 copies of Maxi, which is kind of my main addition to the deck that's not usually run. Maxi is just a great card, so that's why I'm running it. But Diddy Crow is really amazing in this deck because of all of the things it sets up. It helps set up, and it's always live versus pretty much anything that isn't like you're using spellbooks where it's not that strong, but it still has targets. So yeah. Then we have our boss monsters of the deck, Dark Dust Spirit, Blackluster Soldier, and Dark Iron Dragon. Dark Dust Spirit you can search out with Aratama, so if you have a Nikitama and Dark Dust Spirit you can Tribute Summon him and Dark Hold the field. And BLS and Dark Iron Dragon you can search with the Laval Vault chain play. And yeah, you have a lot of darks, and while you only have 1 light monster, it's really important, so it's very likely that you will get it into rotation, so because it's searchable. If it wasn't searchable, you probably wouldn't run BLS. Like, you wouldn't run Chaos Sorcerer, because you don't want to really draw them, necessarily. But, yeah. Then I will remove the spells first, but the monsters first, but the next card is Pot of Dichotomy. And just let's take account to how many different types we have. This is Fiend, and this is Fiend. Then we have Fairy, Reptile, Zombie, Winged Beast, Insect, Warrior, Dark Dragon. You have a lot of different types in this deck, so Pot of Dichotomy is pretty much always going to be live, especially since this deck, one, likes to recycle its monsters. You want to recycle Nikitama, you want to recycle your Ghostricks especially. But more importantly, this deck cannot use Soul Charge because, well, all of the level 4 monsters can't be Soul Charged back, and all of the other monsters you don't really want to Soul Charge and don't really care. The rank 1 pool is shit, so yeah. But yeah, the 2 copies of Pot of Dichotomy. And also playing 2 copies of Creeping Darkness. Creeping Darkness is a card that I don't think has ever seen competitive play, but in this deck it's really strong because you have a lot of fodder Dark Monsters. So you banish 2 Dark Monsters from the graveyard, and you add the level 4 Dark Monsters from the deck. So Aratama or Kagetokage are your targets. And then for one of spells we are playing Wonder Coal because it's cool. We wouldn't run it. It's a control deck. One Book of Moon. This is one of the rare few decks that actually wants to run Book of Moon because the spirits are very weak to effect negation because they don't even bounce back to the hand then. So if they like Breakthrough Skill or Finish Chain your Aratama Normal Summon effect, you go Book of Moon, and not only do you get to search, but Aratama also trigger if he's flipped face up, and he has 1800 defense, so there's a chance that he might leave, but even if he doesn't, there's a good chance he just gets attacked, and even if he doesn't leave, you still get 2 searches, so you can search Nikitama and Dark the Spirit, so that's Dark Hole right there. So yeah, that's one of the only, that's pretty much the only reason we're on Book of Moon though. And then to round off the spells, we are running one Unlover Earth Darkness, because I don't know if you noticed, but this is a dark deck. And for traps, we are running 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, because it's Breakthrough Skill. 2 copies of Wiretap. I wish I had room for more backrow removal. We have Book of Moon also, but besides that, I kinda don't have too much. But I needed space for the maxis, so I got the 3rd Wiretap. And you could probably still find the space for it, honestly. And then we are running, Bottomless, Compulse, Torrential, and Solemn Warning, usual suspects. Nothing new here. So, going into the extra deck, we are running 2 copies of 101. Because this deck's only win condition besides the big monsters is the rank 4 pool, so going into 2 101s is quite likely. We're also running 1 Exiton. I've decided to run 2 Abyss Dwellers instead of Abyss Dweller and Rhapsody Berserk, because Rhapsody Berserk is pretty weak when you don't have Soul Charge, and in this deck especially you can't spam the board. You cannot make multiple rank XYZ monsters in 1 turn. You have to equip Rhapsody Berserk to something you already made. So at that point I would rather just run 2 Dwellers to fuck over Murmels more. Just me. Then Black Ship, stable. We have King of the Feral Imps, because we want to search out Kagetokage. A Volvo Chain for the play I mentioned 10 times already. Crazy Box, because we don't have a lot of backrow removal and we can make it under skill drain. Spirit plus Kagetokage is Crazy Box, so that's good. One Ragna Zero, just because. On Merogeist, because Girga is a bad matchup, especially Girga hands. Then Heartland Draco, because it can come up. 1 Maestroke, I've already mentioned it in the rank 4 tier list pool, but Maestroke is stronger than 101 if the opponent has a lot of back rows, or you want to just bait Traptrix, Supple Nightmare. Because if you get Breakthrough Skill on Maestroke, you still have a material left for protection or next turn, versus with 101 you have nothing left, so that's something. And finally, we have Alucard and Dullahan. Alucard is not gonna come up much, but if you have Junction on the field and you have another in hand, sometimes it's just better to make Alucard. And yeah, Dullahan is quite strong and comes up a bit more because you can search multiple level 1s with Jiangxi. But yeah, they also have the secondary effect when they get sent to the graveyard, you add back a Ghostrick monster from the hand, which is really nice. Because we only run 2 Spectres, it's more often than not gonna be the 3rd Spectre though. The Spectre that you add back. But yeah, that's it from me. Leave a like, join a Discord, leave a comment, all the good shit, and goodbye.